Alright, so this is our RX station anesthesia cart. And this is what you will be seeing in your operating rooms. What we have right here is the login screen. It looks just like the RX station login screen that you're currently seeing. Um, the default will be a white background. If we want to change it into a dark mode, we can hit this little light bulb button on the top left. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. You'll be using your typical Cerner credentials. And upon login, you'll see your patients for the day. So on the top left over here, we'll see the OR facility, and here we will see the rooms within that facility. And up here on the top right, we'll see today. We can switch that to yesterday or tomorrow, or we can look at all patients from all 3 days over here on the top right. What we have listed are our patients in a case today, and so we can see all of them here. If we don't see our patient here, we can go up here to the magnifying glass and search for our patient there by entering in a last name, first name, or an MRN and FIN. We'll go ahead and go back, and what the button to the right of that is we see a man with a green plus sign. So this is for our ad hoc patients. So if you have a patient come in that has not been registered into Cerner by the time they get into the room, we'll go ahead and add an ad hoc patient by selecting this button. And that'll automatically default us and give us a new patient that we're able to dispense medications on. So from here we can see their name. So we can see that the patient will be named at the date and time that they are loaded in as an ad hoc patient. Over here we can go to options, and if we want to change that name, we can select edit case details. So from here we can put in a new last name and a new first name as well. What we see here on the screen are our macros. So a macro is essentially a group of medications that you can dispense in with one push. We can see those here, a list of defaulted macros. We can also create our own macros. So we can see test and test 2 are two macros that we created previously. If we go up here to options and then select manage my macros, we'll be brought to this screen, which will list all of our created personal macros. So we would select new, add a macro name. So let's go test 3, and then select next. From here we'll get a list of all the medications within the anesthesia cart, and then we can go ahead and add them. So I'll add a Decadron, a morphine, and a orgonium. I'll select next, and now we can see all the list of the medications in our macro. So from here we can see our quantity. So we can set the quantity to default to a certain number. And then down here at the bottom we can hit cancel if we no longer want to create that macro. Add new item if we'd like to go back and add another medication to the macro, or we can select done. Select done. This will bring us back to our patient. And from here we'll be able to see our created macro. So as we can see, test 3 there. So what we see now are macros, and then bottom left we can see select from inventory or case items. Go to case items, we can see the medications that have been pulled. So obviously we haven't pulled any medications just yet. So I'm going to select add new item, and I'll remove a fentanyl. So I'll hit done and dispense. This will now unlock this tray, which are our single dose bins. So any of these trays that have not been set to open will be locked. We won't be able to move it any farther. But we'll see here with the blue light. So this compartment will be empty. But when we turn it, we'll be able to open it. We'll turn it one time and then pull out our fentanyl from there. So hit done, and that'll end that dispense. So now we can see our fentanyl listed under our case items. Again, if we want to add another one, we can add new item. But since in this case, we are working with a patient that hasn't been registered, but now they have. So we'll go ahead and hit options, and then we'll go to associate. So associating an ad hoc patient will allow us to tie this record in with another patient. So I'll come here and I'll select my patient from the list. I can see all the dispenses I've done on our ad hoc patient, and then we can see our new patient's record over here on the right. So I'll select associate, and this will tie the records of our ad hoc patient with the record of our Maroon 1 RX station. So here, if we go to case items, we would see what has been pulled, and then if we go to select inventory, we can pull medications from here as well. So if we go back, we can, if we open our drawer, we will automatically see the map view. So from here, we are taking a look down on the tray, so we can pick our medications from here. We'll say we want one hydralazine and a phenylephrine. If I hit it 2 times, I can pull another one, and another will give me another one in the quantity. If I say, oh, I only meant to pull one phenylephrine, but I've selected it 3 times, I can go to this pencil and decrease it from there. So I'll hit save and close, and then I'll remove my medications from the compartment. If we go back, we're again back at our macro screen. We can go to options, and we'll reconcile our patient. So this is something that is good to do maybe towards the end of your case, after everything has been completed. So you go to reconcile, and this will show you all the dispensed medications on here. So we have our fentanyl that we dispensed on our ad hoc patient that's now showing. We can see that there hasn't been any charted, wasted, or returned. We go back, we'll go ahead and do a return. So we'll select return, and we'll select our phenylephrine and hit return again. We will pick our reason why and return it to the external return bin, which will be here on the right hand side of the anesthesia cart, and we'll drop our medication into there. So now we have returned our medication. We're going to do a waste. So we'll go ahead and select waste. We can waste our fentanyl. It'll default to our controls, but we can select all to see all of our medications that we have pulled. So we will waste our fentanyl here, and we will need a witness. So we will go ahead and type in our witness to waste, and then we'll enter in our information here. So we'll say we're going to waste half of it. Patient refused, drawn but not given. We'll hit done, and then we'll place it into our waste bin. So now let's go back to our reconcile screen. Go back here, and we select all. We can see our transactions that we've completed. So we have our half of a waste and our hydralazine that we haven't done anything on. So we can see that here. So we still have a half of a waste or half of this fentanyl 50 outstanding, and once that is accounted for, this will fall off the screen. If we go back into case items, one thing you may be doing is printing off labels for your medications. To do so, you would just hit select, and then you would come here to print label. This will print the label, and then you will be able to place that onto your syringes. That is our ArcStation anesthesia cart workflow. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.